Sheikh, I have to tell you that we still have this thing called Jewish and Muslim Standard Time, right? So, there's that element that we still haven't fixed yet. But in all candor, I coined a saying many years ago, justice is never just us. And if you're talking about what's really sacred in this world, then you can't look in a mirror and say, I'm the one that matters. You have to be able to look at the world and argue that if we all do come from the very same source of creation, which we do, then it's not for us to stand in judgment over each other because we pray differently or because we look differently, even because we love differently. If we love, and if we're earnest in our prayer, then we truly do come from one parent, one spiritual beginning. And the harsh root is that so much of bigotry roots in people not feeling secure themselves. If we know who we are and we have strong identities, then we can take our identity and love who we are and love everyone with whom we work, even in those places that we don't agree or don't understand that we yet agree or disagree. Because any one piece of our makeup is not the sum total of what's at stake. What's at stake is the heart. So Adam, there's two stories of the creation in the Torah. One is that we are the finest achievement of God's creative energy. In the end of chapter 1, God creates the whole world and then creates us to have dominion and control over the earth, be stewards to the earth. And then in chapter 2, we're reminded that we're simply God's gardeners. God creates Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, and creates us to take care of it. Simply that. Somehow we remember chapter 1 and forgotten the stewardship required from us in chapter 2. But we're not all like that, and that's why we're here. And this would be a great call for everyone here to volunteer somewhere. We've got an incredible organization that is growing. We have a mission of bringing people together from different faiths and different traditions and different walks of life so that we can not only get to know each other but heal the world. And so please let us know where you feel that you can chime in bringing justice, which is also, I guess, a great segue to introduce Zamir Hassan, who is being given our Humanitarian Award this year. He is an inspiration to inclusion and diversity. He devotes himself to feeding two kinds of hunger, hunger for food and hunger for connections. The founder of Muslims Against Hunger, Faiths Against Hunger, and the Hunger Van, his projects aren't just about bringing food and other essentials to the homeless on the streets, but about bringing people of different backgrounds together to do it, equally in a time of division and polarization. He says it's really about engaging people to get involved in building volunteer communities. It's about taking care of God's creations in need. And so, Mustafa Abdi, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom, Rabbi. Namaste. Sat Sri Akal. These are all the groups I'm working with, so I learned their greetings, including myself. Good afternoon. After Imam, it's really tough, and I'm given 5 minutes, and he had 35 minutes. So I'm going to tell you the story, maybe my story, which may inspire some young people. And before I get into that, I would really like to congratulate the group of young people, Muslim for Peace, for putting a program like this. I have seen them growing up, and today's program, I think, is the best program they have put together. So every year they are doing better. Thank you for inviting me here. When Brother Mustafa called me, and I said, you know what? I don't really go to these places because I walk the talk. And he said, no, brother, you have to come here because we want the program get more recognized so more people get involved. So let me tell you a story. I came to US to go to grad school in 1973, almost 50 years ago. And I ended up in IT before there was IT. Remember that? There was no IT. So you can imagine how well I did. I was part of the so-called American dream. And suddenly, in year 2000, I was asked by my son's school to be a chaperone to a community service activity, which was feeding at the soup kitchen. And I said, see how ignorant I was? I'm here since 1973, and this is year 2000, and I'm saying, what is a soup kitchen? And guess what, by the way, we have soup kitchens. We just call them langar, where I grew up. So the PTA president said, oh, I volunteer every Thursday there. Come with me, and because you are going to be a chaperone, so you have an idea what we are talking about. I go to this soup kitchen, which is in the second richest town in New Jersey, Morristown. Anybody from Morristown? Which is north of here. And we fed 225 people. And I got shocked. We live in silos, by the way. And I said, wow, they live in my backyard? And I'm not supposed to go to bed if my neighbor is hungry. So I started reflecting on that, and I started talking to my friends, and then we ended up putting together a group of people. Year 9/11 happens in 2000. People were more excited, Muslims, to do some good work. After a year, nobody would come. The soup kitchen keeps calling me that, when are you bringing your group? And I have no volunteers. So one day I was so embarrassed when I got the call, I said, you know what, I'm short in volunteers. Can you give me some volunteers? They said, of course. How many volunteers you need? You normally needed at the soup kitchen like 15 people. So I said, you know what, give me 10 volunteers. Because I took my family, which is 5, 3 kids and my wife, and we cooked the food and brought to the soup kitchen. And in year 2005, I got a call from Burgund Record. They were doing a story on impact of 9/11 on Muslims. The reporter who called me every 5 minutes will ask a question where he expects that we are doing it because of 9/11. And every time he asked the question, I tell them, Aqimus Salat, wa atu zakat, the hadith, and this is our tradition. This is what we are supposed to do. So he said, what is your group's name? We had no name. I was just gathering friends and everything. So I said, no, it's Muslims Against Hunger. And he says, do you have a website? I'm an IT guy, by the way. So I said, oh yeah, it's coming soon. So I get off the phone and call one of the guys, I had my own company, and say, hey, I need a website. And he said, what do you want to call it? I said, I just named it, Muslims Against Hunger. So now we have a website. And there was no Facebook, by the way. So I would send emails and ask people to come with me for the programs. And one of the things I said, hey, come with me or give me $5 so I can buy food, or forward my email to somebody else. And guess what happened those days, if you are old enough like me? My emails are flying all over the country. And we have a website. People are going to the website and sending me emails, said, hey, this is a cool program. I'm in Chicago. How do I do this? So what I did, that every weekend, wherever I get these emails, I will go to that city and set them up, like what I was doing here. I'm an IT guy, so I created a system. Now, today, the program is in 20 cities. Basically, somebody corrected me, 30 cities and 5 countries, and we have more than 5,000 volunteers. And we have no institutional support. So I see a bunch of, I bumped into some volunteers, and they were behind, so it's all a volunteer-based program. And right now, what we, in year 2011, I recognize that there is, we are not reaching out to the people who are hanging out at the train station and the park. So we created a program which is a more mobile soup kitchen program. It's called Hunger Van. And now Hunger Van is traveling all over. Somebody said that you were in Washington, D.C. yesterday. I said, yeah, I was. So now I'm retired, and I work 9 days a week, and just having a good time. And I just completed my 71 years old birthday. So I get up and go and engage people. Because this is something, what we are doing is not about food. It's about engaging people. It's because everybody wants to do good. So what we are doing, engaging good people to do good. And so join us. It's very simple. There's a website, hungervan.org. Go and sign up, and we could have an event at your house for your son's birthday. Or we are having at synagogues with bar mitzvah. We have done 7 bar mitzvah where we bring the people, we make the food, and give it out in the street. So thanks for recognizing the program. And one thing I wanted to say, there is a big issue of senior hungers, and there's a big issue. We are at a campus. There's a food pantry on this campus. Does anybody know about that? It has been around for a long time. 2 weeks ago, I was in State University of North Carolina. 40,000 students. They have 28% hunger issue. What is hunger, by the way? If a person doesn't know where they are going to get their next meal, that's what the hunger is. How many people you think in our country are like that? Anybody in my class before? No? 49 million people in this richest country on the planet do not know where they are going to get their next meal. And so there is a big issue with senior hunger because they are on fixed income. One partner dies, their expenses are the same, and they would not go to a soup kitchen because they are so proud the way. So there's a big hunger issue there. There's a big hunger issue. Out of that 49 million, you have seniors. In New Jersey, by the way, about 1 million people fit into that definition. And out of that 1 million, 300,000 is children. Is this something should be acceptable to us? From any perspective, especially as a Muslim, the highest form of charity is feeding a hungry person. So join us. Let's make some food and give it out in the field with Hunger Man. Thank you.